Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Tanya Blanchard. This video is intended to be shared on my group on Facebook, but if you are not on my group and you're just watching this video on YouTube and you would like to be added to my group, which is free, just let me know and I can send you an invite. This group I created a few days ago, and I've started this recently, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips about how to be happy in life in general. I am a very positive individual, so I will share my positivity. I also do keto coaching, keto diet coaching, and I do health coaching. So if you would like to be added just to simply read some articles or watch my videos that I'll be posting, just send me a request and I will certainly add you. It would be a pleasure to add you. And thanks to everyone for watching this video from my Facebook group. Thanks for your support. I truly appreciate every single one of you. So again, my name is Tanya Blanchard. I'm 34 years old. I am from Moncton, New Brunswick. And where did I start all of this? So I've always been overweight as far as I can remember. In 2013, I was about 300 pounds, the heaviest I had been back then. And I decided to start this course. Actually, you can see my diploma back there, but it's a certification actually that I took into personal training and nutrition. That's when my passion started back then. So I decided to take that course because I knew I had to do something about my weight. It was causing me some health issues, had high blood pressure at a very young age and things like that. So when I took the course, I was really able to take what I had learned throughout that course and apply it on myself. So back in 2013, I lost about 60 pounds just by tracking my food, exercising, understanding really what the food that I was eating was doing in my body and how to lose the extra fat that I had. I was really motivated. I lost that 60 pounds, but then as everyone probably experienced before, life happened. So I do admit that I have a food addiction. I probably always had that food addiction. I am a constant snacker. I love snacking. I have a sugar addiction as well. So really, life happened, as I said, and then I gained all the weight back. It went off and on and off and on. I tried Weight Watchers, tried, tracking my food, things like that. So in 2018, I was over 300. I've reached the highest weight of my life at 320. That's when I decided, okay, I need to do something. One of my friends was doing the ketogenic diet, which is what today's video is going to be about. They introduced me to the ketogenic diet. I've seen how much weight they had lost. Even their skin color had changed. Like they looked healthier. So they talked to me about it and I decided to make my own research. Now, before we go any further, I am by all means not a doctor. I am not a professional healthcare or anything like that. I share my own knowledge, some facts as well. But if you do want to start the ketogenic diet and you have health issues, I would recommend you speak to your doctor. In fact, if you have any questions, I can try and answer them, but I am not a professional. So I would always tell you to seek your medical advice from your doctor, your family doctor, or professionals. So with that said, so when I started, I did my own research. Anyone that wants to start the keto, I would recommend to do your own research because it can be very beneficial for your body, but you can also get a bad experience if you don't follow it correctly and get yourself sick, basically. So you have to be extremely careful and understand what you're doing. The reason it can be so dangerous, keto actually changes the way that your body will use its energy. A regular person that eats just a regular diet that consists of carbs, protein, and fat, your body will automatically burn carbs or sugar as its first means of fuel for energy. Any bodies are like that. When the body doesn't have any sugar or carbs to burn, it automatically turns into its second favorite ways of fueling up, which is burning fat. That's what the ketogenic diet is about. So it changes your body. It trains it to actually burn fat instead of burning sugars or carbs. And it's actually more efficient. So if you think of babies when you were born or whatnot, you would drink like your, milk. Well, if that's all that you're eating or whatnot, and human milk is actually, it is made for your baby. So the nature has this beautiful way of making sure that your baby has everything for people that are breastfeeding, of course. but it's very high in fat. So your baby, when you first, have a baby that's born, it is in ketosis automatically when it comes to life. So it is a natural way for your body of, surviving, basically being in ketosis. So what you do in order to get in ketosis when you're not a baby, you stop eating sugars. You will stop eating carbs like rice, potatoes, fruits, granola bars, cookies, things like that. And what you're going to focus on is eating a higher amount of fat. That is very important because it is how your body is going to get fueled up on your energy. It will fuel up your brain. It will fuel up your everything. That is the main thing on keto, is high fat. Then you have to eat medium amount of protein. A lot of people make that mistake of eating too much protein on keto. A lot of people have been talking about that, and I keep on telling them it's important to eat enough protein, because not eating enough protein will cause hair loss, it will cause your nails to go unhealthy, things like that. But eating too much protein is actually also bad, because then what the body does is it breaks down those protein molecules into what they call amino acid, and then your body will turn that into sugar, and then sugar will kick you out of ketosis, and then you'll get what they call the keto flu or whatnot. We'll go deeper into that in a little bit. But so too much protein is also not good. So you have to eat a medium amount of protein, high amount of fat, and very low amount of carbs. I usually go 20 grams or lower for my carbs every day. That is basically how you get into ketosis, to make it very simple. Now, once you go into ketosis, what are the benefits? Why would you do it? Ketosis is actually very healthy. It is sometimes recommended by doctor for people ongoing cancer treatment. Usually keto plus intermittent fasting, which is what I do, is actually very beneficial for people on ongoing treatments and things like that. It will actually reduce your appetite. So it will not eliminate, but it will reduce your hunger hormone, which usually will tell your body that you're hungry and give cravings and things like that. It actually pretty much eliminates that. Your cravings will be gone, because sugar is a drug, believe it or not. Once you eat sugar, you crave it all the time. If I stop keto today and eat a donut, for example, in 2 hours from now, I'll be hungry and I'll want another donut. It is totally a vicious circle. After about 3 to 5 days that you're on the ketogenic diet, you stop having cravings. It is beautiful. Like all of a sudden, I personally went from eating every 15 minutes, I would snack on everything. Fish crackers, donuts, cookies, candies, like you name it, I would eat it. Once I started keto, after about 5 days, I wouldn't have any cravings. I went from eating every 15 minutes to literally being able to go a full 24 hours without being hungry, which is what you call fasting. So I always recommend going both intermittent fasting and keto. It just boosts up your weight loss. So it helps you losing weight around the waist. A lot of times people have a lot of fat around the waist, and that causes diabetes. It causes all kinds of health issues. Keto will take care of removing that. Well, if you do it the right way. It increases your good cholesterol and decreases your bad cholesterol. So a lot of people will be concerned because they're like, how would eating that much fat not create cholesterol in my bloodstream? The thing is, cholesterol is okay if it's the right one. Once you eat sugar and fat, the problem is you get inflamed. It causes inflammation. And who says inflammation in your arteries? When you have a lot of cholesterol, it causes stroke and it causes other health issues. So that's why if you go on keto, you cannot go on keto and do it halfway and eat carbs, because it will do the exact opposite and you will get very sick. It is dangerous. So you have to follow a healthy way of doing the ketogenic diet. It actually reduces your blood pressure as well, because you really get in top shape. Your body has like everything it needs or whatnot. You lose weight. Personally, my blood pressure went back to normal. I had it very high at a very young age, and doctors were actually concerned about it. Once I started keto, I went for some tests not too long ago before this whole COVID-19 started, and everything was healthy. My blood pressure, my blood sugar, everything. So it really helps in many ways your health concerns or issues that you might have. So there are different types of keto diets. It's not just one diet and that's it, it's keto. No, you have to understand that there's different ways of doing it. Is there a better way? No, I don't think it is. You just need to pick the one that fits with your lifestyle the most. What I personally do is the standard ketogenic diet. Who says standards usually will say that you would eat about 60 to 70% of fat. That's usually what I aim for. About 30 to, 25 to 30, 35% of protein, and then 20 grams of carbs. There is a way of calculating your macros, so how much grams you could eat, by checking with your age, your height, your weight, your activity level, and your body fat percentage. You do a little calculation and it tells you what you should eat. Not everyone will do that. I personally think it's great. We'll go into that in a second. So the standard one with those percentage is what I've been doing for the past 2 years, and something that it works great with me. I'm still losing. You also have the targeted ketogenic diet, which basically what that does is a lot of athletes would do that before going to a marathon, for example. They would carb up, as they say, so eat a lot of carbs right before the event, and then use those carbs as full energy to be able to run for like hours. And then after they're done running, they have burned all the sugars they had in their blood. Now they go back to ketosis. That is okay, not my thing. I don't work out as much as, I would like it to. Sometimes when you're still losing weight without working out, it almost makes you lazy. It's important to still exercise, but then you have the cyclical keto. I think I'm saying it correctly. I'm French, so my apologies if I don't. It's like a cycle keto. So some people will do it, let's say, like for me, for example, once I reach my healthy goal of weight, which is about 150, I'll see how I get when I get there. But once I reach there, I'll probably do the cycle keto. And what that is you do keto for about 5 days or 6 days, depending on your preference. And then you get 1 day where you eat more carbs, and then you go back into ketosis. You do that every week. So a lot of people will do that. You then also have the last one, the restricted ketogenic diet, which is mostly used by doctors. This is the one where they would use it for cancer patients and things like that going under treatments. So they would do the fasting and the keto, and it renews your cells. The fasting does that. Keto just helps with the growth hormones and things like that. So by doing both, it actually makes the treatment stronger. It makes your body stronger. It will get rid of like the bad cells and renew newer cells. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but it can be very beneficial for people like that. Diabetes as well. So it can be used in very serious situations by doctors. So the tracking, let's go back to tracking. I personally like to track everything that I eat. I have this little book where I write down everything that I eat in a day. I've been using it since I started. I love the feeling of writing down on a piece of paper what I've ate. And then I can go back and check previous dates, like for example, back in January, what did I eat, and see everything. It makes me proud. I like that. A lot of people will use carb managers. I personally don't believe into it to a certain point, because the numbers that it's giving you do not take everything that I've just said, the age, the weight, and all of that. It doesn't take all of that into consideration. It takes a few, like your age. I think it's your age, your weight, and your height or whatnot, but it doesn't take the rest of it. So whatever works for you, I personally don't believe into it, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. So, but the tracking is actually good for making sure that you get all your nutrients. So by eating on the ketogenic diet, if you don't eat fruits, rice, and things like that, you might miss out on, like, for example, calcium or like things like that, vitamin C or whatever. So it's important to get it in other foods. So I personally will eat a lot of cauliflower, broccoli, asparagus, spinach, kales, things like that. A lot of green vegetables, which have carbs, but they are not high in carbs. I would not eat carrots and things like that. So, and then it helps you be accountable. If you're writing down on a piece of paper that you ate 4 donuts, for example, you're going to feel bad writing it on that piece of paper or putting it into your app. When you see it, you're going to be like, why did I do that? So it might motivate you not to eat it the next time, or really think twice before eating it. So I find it makes me accountable. You can also investigate. If you get to a certain point where you're stalled, your weight loss, you're not losing as much, all of that, you can analyze what you ate back then that really worked and what you're eating now, and maybe make some modification and trying to get back into where you were burning a whole lot of fat. Eventually, you will slow down. For me, I was 320, now I'm 203. As of this morning, it's getting harder and harder to lose the weight. So I have to add exercise, I have to drink more water, things like that. So sometimes eating not enough fat will actually cause the opposite of eating too much. So you will stop losing weight if you don't eat enough fat. So it's important to track all of that. That's my opinion. And the other thing also is the protein. When you eat too much protein, what it actually causes you is that you get what they call amino acid in your blood. So the body will break down the protein molecules and then will actually create amino acid, and your body will turn that into sugar. So it is not good. So it's important to eat, the right amount of fat, the right amount of protein, as I said earlier, and the right amount of carbs. Just very important. What you have to be careful, and the most important thing to me, is the keto flu. A lot of people, when I first started, talked to me about the keto flu, and I was like, what is that? The keto flu is caused by dehydration. So when you do not be careful with your electrolytes, as I said earlier, when you start the ketosis, or you go on your ketogenic diet, the thing is your body will get rid of that extra liquid, the fluid. So as I said, your inflammation goes down. So the first week, I lost 5 pounds. I know a lot of people will lose up to like 10 pounds of just fluid. So you get all excited and all of that, but you also have to be very careful, because who says losing fluid says losing electrolytes that are in that fluid? So sodium, magnesium, potassium. So it's important for you to be careful and be mindful of that dehydration that's just around the corner. So if you start getting headaches, or you have diarrhea or vomiting or things like that, this is all part of symptoms of the keto flu. It is very serious. Some people get really sick. So you have to be careful. My way of avoiding this, I have this little protein, or not protein, but little powder. It's called Vega Sport. You can buy it in most supplement store. It's a hydrator. And what it basically does is that it has, as you can see on the screen, sorry guys, it has at the bottom all those electrolytes or whatnot that are very important right here. So I buy this, it's about $30 for a bottle. It will last me a lot of days. So I'd say probably about a month or whatnot, depending, how much I use it. But I personally take it every morning. So I take a little scoop, I put it in my water. It's sweetened with stevia. So stevia is not bad for keto, in moderation, of course, as everything. And somebody will actually react differently to stevia than others. So important to test it first. And then I take this and it helps. A lot of people will say also that you can take pickled food. So for example, pickles, the juice, like dill and garlic pickles, will not have any sugars in it. So you can drink the actual juice a little bit, because it's very high in sodium, and it would help you retain your fluid a little bit and get back some electrolytes. So it's important to do what works for you. Some people will say bone broth, chicken broth, like I've heard many things, but just make sure that you stay careful with your electrolytes. When it comes to sodium, you could get it from sea salt as well, or Himalayan salt. Sometimes you can put a little bit in water, things like that. It can probably do the exact same thing as this. It's just, for me, this is my little treat because it's sweet and I have it in the morning. So, magnesium, potassium, you can get it from nuts, from avocados, things like that. So there's different ways of getting your electrolytes. I just like this. Once you get into your routine, you'll find what works for you. And then little things that you enjoy, you use it as a treat. So for me, it's that. So once you actually get into ketosis, so a way that I personally track, so let's say I'm starting to feel lightheaded and I have bellyache and things like that. And I'm like, am I getting the keto flu? Because sometimes you can eat something that the problem is if your insulin rise up, which would happen, for example, as I explained to you, when you eat too many protein, creates it creates sugar in your blood. And what happens when there's sugar in your blood, like when you eat sugar or anything, it raises up your insulin. And insulin is the number one cause of you getting out of ketosis. Once you get too much insulin because of sugar, you're kicked out of ketosis. So if you start getting symptoms, check to make sure that you're in ketosis. What I personally use is called Keto Mojo. It is a little machine like this. I buy it with this, which are basically, sorry, with the cam, it's not very easy. Keto Mojo strips. I will show you what it looks like. It looks like this. It's little strips that I put into my machine like that. And then you will see it lights up and it will check my ketone level. So I have this little thing that I would put, this is like a little needle, almost like you would check for diabetic people. So I would put that in there and then would go like this, click, and then put a little bit, drop of blood onto that little strip. And it tells me basically how is my ketone level. That is how I personally check if I'm in ketosis or not. I would strongly recommend, to be honest with you, if you're going to be doing ketogenic diet for a while, I recommend investing in this. It is a little expensive. I think I paid this a little over $100, but it's something that will last forever. Well, not forever, but nothing lasts forever. But it will last a long time, and it's actually good for you to check. I personally use it a lot when I go and I travel. So I always stay on keto unless I'm like a bad girl and then I go like, and eat donuts and crap. But if I travel and I decide, I make the decision to stay in ketosis while I travel, I bring this with me. It comes in this little nice pouch. I bring it with me. And then sometimes when I eat out in restaurants, you think that they would like put everything that's on the menu is in the food. And you ask the server and she's like, no, there's no artificial sugar. But then you eat it and you feel like crap after you run to the washroom, probably because there was hidden sugar. So I bring this with me when I travel and I check my ketone level after I eat at the restaurant. And then I can kind of adjust what I'm eating throughout the day. I will usually buy stuff at the grocery store like nuts. Macadamia nuts are my favorite, or Brazilian nuts. I'll bring that with me to the hotel with avocados. Then I'll eat like bacon and eggs at the little restaurant downstairs and things like that. But I check my ketone level to make sure I'm still in ketosis, so I don't feel sick. Something that will also help is MCT oil. MCT oil, you can buy it in different package. This is one that I bought at Corn Crib here in Moncton, but I also purchased some at Costco. It's cheaper at Costco and it comes with 2 bottles for like $20. It's a little bit more expensive, but this is derived from coconut oil and it is extremely good when it comes to raising your ketone levels, especially at the beginning when you're just starting keto. So if I was to recommend anyone that wants to start keto, and I guess I'll finish with this because I could go on and on and on about keto. We'll be making more videos, but just for the introduction to keto diet, anyone that wants to start will ask me usually, because I have some clients that I coach, they will ask me, so what do I need to start? First and foremost, I always recommend to buy red meat, fatty red meat. For example, a blade roast, beef blade roast with fat on it, or steak, T-bone or ribeye or things like that. And then buy MCT oil, buy electrolytes or something to ensure that you have that. Butter, heavy cream, which is very fat cream that I use to make sauce or just in my coffee and things like that. And things like olive oil, avocado oils, and things like that. Eggs also are good. So really, when you decide, okay, you know what, I did some research and I want to start the ketogenic diet, it's important for you to change your mindset and then get rid of whatever you have. For me, I couldn't because my husband is addicted to sugar. So he eats a lot of ice cream, cookies. A lot of people will be like, how do you do it? How can you still do this without touching his food? You know what? You get used to it. When your willpower becomes stronger than the food you want to eat, there's no issues. That's where I'm at in my state of mind. So, but yes, so it's important to get rid of whatever you have if you live alone. Like, get rid of your rice, get rid of your potatoes, your bread and stuff like that. You're not going to eat it anyway. Give it away to someone that might be not as fortunate as you are and that needs it. Or just a friend. Maybe you'll get even more friends with them after you give them free food. But then go and do a keto grocery. That's what I did it when I first started. So I went and I bought everything that I needed. I looked up some recipes online, which I'll share with you eventually. And then I started. The Monday I said, you know what, that's it, I'm doing it. And the first time I started, I went as long as I could without eating, probably around like 2 p.m. Last time I had ate was like 5 o'clock the last night before. And then I did my fasting or whatnot. I started eating and ta-da, that's how I started the ketogenic diet. So with everything we've just discussed, that is, as I said, an introduction. If you have any questions, you can certainly send me a message, private message, or I can add you to my group or whatnot. But if you have any health concerns or very serious questions, or if you simply want the advice of a professional, I always recommend to go see your family doctor or a doctor, and they will let you know if it's something that would be good for you. Not every doctor agree with it. Some people do not believe into the diet, and some people live by it. So even if a doctor tells you it's not good for you, maybe the next one will tell you it's good. So do your own research, and if you have any questions, you let me know. So with that said, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Next video might be on intermittent fasting, or maybe I'll do it on happiness or anything like that. So stay tuned for the next Tan Tans video. Thanks for watching, and you all have a great day, and happy Mother's Day for all those mommies out there. You guys are wonderful. Everyone's beautiful. Bye.